The rain hammered against the canopy of New Verdant's jungle as Theon made his way through the undergrowth, his prosthetic leg hissing with each step. 5 years since the Krell War had ended, and still his body reminded him of those brutal days. He'd come to this frontier colony to escape the memories, to find peace among the alien flora that glowed softly in the perpetual twilight. That's when he heard it, a pitiful chirping sound, almost like a broken violin string. Theon pushed through a cluster of phosphorescent ferns and froze. Huddled beneath a massive root system was a creature no bigger than a house cat, its scales shimmering between obsidian and deep purple. Wings, translucent and delicate, were folded against its trembling body. Blood seeped from a gash along its side. "Well, damn," Theon muttered, kneeling despite the protest from his leg. He'd seen plenty of xenofauna reports during his briefings, but nothing like this. The creature's eyes, intelligent, golden, and terrified, locked onto his. It tried to snarl, revealing tiny needle-sharp teeth, but the sound came out as another pathetic chirp. "Easy there, little one." Theon slowly removed his jacket, wrapping it around the creature despite its feeble protests. "Let's get you patched up." 3 weeks later, the hatchling, whom Theon had named Ember, had taken over his modest prefab home. The creature had grown at an alarming rate, now the size of a large dog, with scales that caught the light like polished gemstones. Ember's wound had healed cleanly, thanks to Theon's field medic training, and the dragon had imprinted on him with fierce loyalty. "You're going to eat me out of house and home," Theon said, watching Ember devour an entire synthesized protein block in 3 bites. The dragon chirped happily, nuzzling against his leg with enough force to nearly knock him over. The veteran support group had told him to get a pet. He doubted this was what they had in mind. That evening, as Theon was teaching Ember to play fetch with a magnetic sphere, the sky above his homestead erupted in light. Not the gentle glow of New Verdant's bioluminescent atmosphere, but a brilliant cascade of silver and blue that made the air itself vibrate. Ember's head snapped up, a deep thrumming sound emanating from the hatchling's chest, half purr, half warning. "What is it, girl?" Theon grabbed his old service pistol from habit, stepping onto the porch. The light coalesced, and then she appeared. The dragon descending from the sky was magnificent, easily 30 meters from snout to tail, with scales that shifted between pearl white and electric blue. Her wings were vast membranes of starlight, and her eyes burned with an intelligence that made Theon's breath catch. This was no simple beast. This was something ancient, powerful, and unmistakably sentient. She landed with surprising grace, the ground barely trembling beneath her weight. Those luminous eyes fixed on Ember, who had bolted from the house with excited chirps, then slowly swiveled to regard Theon. The human veteran had faced down Krell shock troopers, had held the line when his entire platoon was pinned in a canyon with no hope of extraction. But nothing had prepared him for the sheer presence of this being. The dragon's head lowered, bringing her face level with Theon's. He could feel the heat radiating from her nostrils, see his reflection in those massive eyes. Then, impossibly, a voice resonated directly in his mind. Not words, but pure meaning translated into something he could understand. "You saved my daughter." Theon swallowed hard. "I found her injured. Anyone would have done the same." No. The presence in his mind was firm but not unkind. Many would have seen opportunity, resource, possession. You saw a child in pain. Ember had climbed onto her mother's massive foreleg, chirping excitedly as if telling the story of her rescue. The larger dragon's expression softened, though Theon wasn't entirely sure how he could read emotion on such an alien face. "What is she?" Theon asked quietly. "I've never seen anything like you in any xenobiology database." "We are the Dracoris. We came to your galaxy long before your species discovered fire. The dragon's tail curled around Ember protectively. We are few now. Each child is precious beyond measure. Then how did she end up alone in the jungle? Storm. Separation. Pain flickered through the mental connection. I searched for days. Your colony's electromagnetic interference scattered my senses. I had almost given up hope. Theon watched as Ember nuzzled against her mother's snout, the hatchling's contentment palpable. She's a good kid, smart too. Learned to open the refrigerator in 2 days. Something that might have been laughter rippled through the connection. She inherited her father's curiosity, his stubbornness as well. I'm sorry about your mate, Theon said softly. The galaxy is vast and often cruel, but it also contains moments of grace. The dragon's gaze intensified. Like a soldier, broken by war, who still chooses compassion over convenience. Theon felt his throat tighten. I'm no hero. I just did what was right. That is precisely what makes you worthy. The dragon lowered her head in what Theon recognized as a gesture of respect. My name, in a form your mind can process, is Seraphina. I am in your debt, Theon Merrick. How do you know I know many things. I know you carry wounds deeper than the one that cost you your leg. I know you came here to hide from memories that haunt you. I know you believe yourself diminished. But you are not. Seraphina's presence in his mind was warm now, like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. You saved my daughter when you could barely save yourself. That is not diminishment. That is the very essence of what makes humanity formidable. Your capacity for kindness even in your darkest moments. Ember chirped again, launching herself at Theon and nearly bowling him over. He caught the hatchling, laughing despite himself as she licked his face with a forked tongue. So what happens now? Theon asked, scratching behind Ember's ear ridges. You take her home? Eventually. But Ember has bonded with you. Such bonds are sacred to the Dracarys. If you permit it, we would remain in this region for a time. Let her learn from you, as hatchlings learn from pack. A pause. And perhaps, let you learn that you are not as alone as you believe. Theon looked at the magnificent dragon, then at the enthusiastic hatchling in his arms. For the first time in 5 years, the weight on his chest felt lighter. I'd like that, he said simply. Then it is settled. Seraphina's mental voice held warmth and approval. You have given me back my daughter, Theon Merrick. In return, I offer you something precious among my kind. Friendship, and perhaps, when you are ready, purpose. As the twin moons rose over New Verdant, casting their silver light across the jungle, Theon sat on his porch with a dragon hatchling curled in his lap and a dragon matriarch standing guardian nearby. The nightmares would still come, he knew. The memories wouldn't fade overnight, but for the first time since the war, he didn't feel alone. And that, he thought as Ember's gentle snores vibrated against his chest, was enough to start rebuilding. The end.